Hello everyone, I am Gaurav Mittal. I am currently working with Thermo Fisher Scientific as a data science manager. Today I am going to present a talk on email attachment security. Thank you for joining my call. I would like to highlight a business scenario. Today, like most of the organizations, they are tend to send emails to their customers having attachments. Now, consider a scenario like where it's an insurance organization, they are sending you renter insurance document. Or when it comes to medical industry, they are sending you medical receipts or some of your PII data as an attachment. Even today's world, some countries they are sending e-visa in your email as an attachment which contains your passport information. All this information they are very sensitive. It's your PIA data which is prone to phishing email fraud attacks. And what kind of risk we have. So few of the risk as I have highlighted here, like the most common risk is like man in the middle attacks. What happens, the email server what is sending the email, that is not very secure, and in between it can be hacked, and your information which is very sensitive, it can be hacked by the hackers. Or maybe there is not encryption, proper encryption being utilized. There are no antivirus softwares installed. The emails when they are in transaction, it may be possible the authors they can get unauthorized access to the transmission. They can go through the attachments, and your information is prone to fraud. Now what is the solution for it, how we can achieve it? So we can overcome the frauds by implementing data security. In data security world, there are few common terms like authorization. Indication is like only the users which is having appropriate access, they can log in and they can view those particular information. Authorization is like you are curbing the role access. So only if you have some specific role you can avail this much of information. It depends on your role, like you can view the information content. And the most commonly used is encryption. So in encryption, what we do, either we use data masking or we like encrypt the data using key. In AWS there is a service like AWS KMS service. So what happens, like the plain text, it is being encrypted using a key, and the customer at the receiving side is being provided a decrypt key to, so that only the like reliable customer whom we want to send the information is having the key to decrypt and view the contents. So that's how we can secure it. Now the question is, okay, we have learned about the frauds, we have learned about data security, but how we can secure the email attachments? So in the email attachments, like the most common way is, okay, you educate the users, you show the awareness. The organizations, they are installing antivirus softwares. But from our end, like when we are sending the emails to our customers, what we can do, we can use the encryption at our end, which the most common technology is like data masking or password protection. In that case, when the users they are receiving the emails, they have to type a password, then only they can view the content. Otherwise, even if the emails they are being forwarded to a wrong wrong person, that fraud guy cannot open the email. So your sensitive information is still secure. The other way what we can do is access control. So in the access control, we can actually control the time period for which this information, the attachment what we are sending, is accessible. Beyond that time period, actually this attachment just shows okay, link does not exist, the validity is over. Coming to the implementation side, okay, how we can actually implement it? The very simple solution what I want to depict today is using pyminigip library. It's an open source library provided by Python, and installation is also quite simple. Now what happens, pyminigip library, what it does, you have a file. When you use pyminigip library, it actually creates a folder which is a zipped folder, and that zip folder is, when you try to unzip it, it will ask you a password. Now only the reliable person who is having the password can open it. So we are going to implement first layer of security using pyminigip library. So there is a method like compress. There are 3 arguments as I have shown below. Like you need to provide your source file destination, then what is the destination file where you want to keep this zip file folder, what is the password you want to provide. So password is something like you can keep information which only that person know, like his date of birth or like last four digits of his cell number or something like that. If you are going to apply this, then this information only the person know, and they can easily open the file. Secondly, they are not going to reach back to you again and again asking, hey, can you reset my password or something like that. It's an easy way to implement it. And the last argument is the level, to what level you want to compress the file. So there is a 0 to 10, 10 being the highest. Okay, we have learned about pyminigip library. Okay, this library can helps in a zip, like in creating a password protected file. But if we are talking about AWS infrastructure, how we can do it? So in AWS Lambda, where you generally write the code, there is a way you can create a layer for this particular library. The installation is quite simple. This library you can install using pip command. It's a single line command, and when you install it in your local, you can attach it as a layer, as I have shown in on the right hand side bottom part. So once you in your Lambda, it you have to click on like uploading a layer, which will be a .zip file archive, and when you upload it, you will be able to use pyminigip library in your source code. So we have talked about encryption, which is through pyminigip library, and in AWS Lambda function, we will create a layer. But how to make sure about access control? In S3, we have a concept S3 pre-signed URL. This pre-signed URL is basically like if there are S3 objects, you want to provide access to some third person without changing the IAM policy or providing any AWS credentials. There is a bypass route. You just provide that person a temporary access by generating a pre-signed URL, and on this URL you can actually control the validity for how long that person can access this particular object. To control the access, there are actually three ways. Like for example, if you are generating the signed URL through IAM instance profile, the URL will be valid for only 6 hours. If you are using AWS STA service, which is security token service, the URL can be valid till 36 hours. And the longest is like through IAM user, the URL will be valid for 7 working days. So like we can achieve several benefits out of it, as I have mentioned here. Like it's completely secure. We are not sharing any AWS credentials. It's just a single URL, and you decide whom you want to grant the access. Okay, you are sending it in your email, and the third user, they can through this URL, you are granting the access. Okay, you can upload or you can download the file. This is how pre-signed URL email looks like. If you look this particular email, there is actually no attachment. Okay, and secondly, when you click on this particular email link, it will ask you a password. So that password only the person whom we are sending the email, only that person knows. And the last part is we are also actually controlling the access till how long this URL should be valid. Based on the way you are creating it, the URL ranges from 6 hours to like 7 working days. So we have protected the file using pyminigip, and we have performed access control also to send the like a file. Now this password protected file, we can use AWS SES service, which is send email service. And send email service, it has some like features. So you need to create a verified identity whom you are going to send email, and to whom you want to send. Actually, those can be verified on unverified identities. So all the email addresses, they need not to be verified. But there is one constraint in SES service, which is like only 40 emails per second they can be sent. I would like to show you the final code. In the final code, if you look, the first line, I am using the pyminigip library, which is just going to compress a CSV file, and I am providing password, compress level, everything. Once this file is being compressed using pyminigip, I am going to generate a signed URL for it, and I am using it through IAM user. So I was having the option to put it for 7 working days, which is what I have used here. And SES service, as I mentioned, it has a limit of 40 emails per second. So I thought, okay, why not to put 1 second delay in between each and every email. But it purely depends on your implementation, how you want to do it. But time.sleep we can use in between sending the emails to make sure we are not reaching the throttling limit of SES service. The final architecture will look like this. Here it's completely built in AWS. There is a CSV file. Okay, using pyminigip library, you have encrypted it, a password, like a zip folder is there. When you click on it, it will ask you a password. There is a pre-signed URL. This pre-signed URL is valid for a certain time limit. And through SES service, I am going to send it to verified or unverified accounts. Now, the whole advantage of it is even today, if this emails they are being sent to wrong person, they won't be knowing like what is the password for it. Only the reliable person they know it. And secondly, we are also putting a time limit. Okay, that for this particular time only this emails they are valid. And the third, the most important feature here is, if I go back, see, if you look in the emails, there is no attachment. Okay, so from the lambda function, when we have to send emails, the attachments they take some time to attach. But here you are it's just a URL what we are sending. So the transfer time has significantly reduced, and lambda is pay as you go service. So we are actually saving some amount through our implementation also. So no attachments are there. This is all about me, and like I have written an article also on this particular topic. Feel free to go through it. And this is my Twitter, GauravM85. In case of any questions, anything, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.